Hello guys, JohnRemus.com TV here with you to express a few ideas on pornography, and these are going to be actually my two uh, actors. And the first thing, I'll share 10 concepts here. So the first thing being the very idea of an actor. I think it's only a good idea as if people are in a committed relationship where they're truly loving each other and they can truly, it's not about money, it's not about, oh, if the person, uh, you know say they burned their face, for example, uh, whatever it is, that wouldn't influence the trajectory of their relationship. They would still want to be together no matter what. And those types of couples, I think generally they produce amateur internet videos, and there are different ones out there. There's some that the they have the web camera facing both the couple, and they're in different positions and whatnot. So number one is the idea that what type of people are playing it, and not all these crazy videos and Hollywood-esque, amateur-esque, not even amateur. See, the idea of amateur is that it's real. The irony is I feel amateur videos are better, so that's my first point. My second one is that when two people are together, obviously you don't want. It's funner for, and this may be just my personal take on pornography, but I feel like the two people that are together, it's better that they have different roles played out. So, for example, let's say this is the guy and the lady, and the guy is on the bed, and usually I think the one where the man holds the camera, that allows heterosexual males such as myself to have a proper experience of viewing. So the guy's not in the video, and say the woman is in a hotel, maybe they in a hotel, and she pretends to be a maid, or maybe they're at their house and she pretends to be the neighbor, and then what happens is she knocks on the door and maybe accidentally happens on him when he's not wearing clothing or jerking off, and so she she comes in, and they get to talking, and you can set up scenarios like where they can pretend to be two separately married couples, and then they arouse each other. And I think generally what people want, and this is number three, what people want in life is they want someone to find their body attractive. And men and women might be worried that they need a bigger peepee or breasts or something, but you've got to realize there's such a large variety of attraction, and the number one factor being physical health and the health of your skin. That is the primary attractive force. So aim on that. It's a side note. Well, I'll make that number four. Back to number three. The idea uh, of attraction is, think about it, guys. You like lots of different women's VVs, and I would expect the same as women having attraction to men's peepees. And me, for example, I don't even. I prefer women with a pretty flat chest for different reasons, but it just my personal preference for a a a a woman, and I like a woman with a nice round ass. That's just my personal preference. I also think, another side note, number five, you should really know your preference and interests, and don't think that Don't think that you need to speculate or hope for something, or hope for somebody is really virile, or how much they like to have sex, and how deep a woman's A spot is in her vagina. You know how deep her vagina is, how size of man's penis. You know, these are all things that can be discussed over email. That's number 5. Anyway, getting back to 3, this idea of role play, right? So the woman can come in, and then they get to talking, and she might, erotically feel. It's the erotic buildup that I'm trying to describe as being an important thing, and uh, and so she can start to feel him and say, oh, you've got a nice pee-pee, or it's attractive looking, it's, you know beautiful, just words that show that she likes the physical appearance of it, and then say stuff like it smells good, or all these things, where, and then the guy's holding the camera, right? So the guy's holding the camera, and he basically is filming this woman. She can do, for example, start off, say, with a hand job, and then say she can't resist, she wants to do a BJ blow job, and then further on into intercourse, cowgirl, reverse cowgirl. That's my idea of a scene where you really, as a guy watching, can really feel that that's the right way it's supposed to be shot. Not with this guy, all these angles and positions, and there's a third camera guy. I think that's going to be filtered out, and the best quality, or the most sought after videos online, will be the ones where you have two people, and it's just the guy. Or maybe, I don't know if what woman's take is on pornography. Maybe the woman would be holding the camera, and then similar, the guy would come in as the maid, or whatever it is, plumber, quote unquote, whatever. But the point being here, that you have different possibilities out there, and it's important to make choices, right? And so number 7 is to choose that, what, the idea of paying for pornography, I think it's good if it's an actual loving couple, but if you're paying for a two people who aren't involved, then you're actually, I think, a participant in involving money for sex. And I think a mistake guys make is thinking that, women just want an attractive guy, with a large pee-pee, and and that they're excited to do it with him. But the reality is that just says several things. One, that they're poor, because nobody would actually do that if they really thought of themselves as respected, and they were rich, and it's involving money. 2, they're sexually unsatisfied, which is not a good thing, because women should use dildos. They should, know how the size of their vagina, want a man that's compatible, if that's what they want, and realize, that women should have control over their lives and their the sexual aspect of their life, and so there are good and bad reasons for starting a relationship. I elaborate upon this in other my videos, but the point being is that if you have two people that you think that you might feel envious because the guy is attractive, or the girl's attractive, or there's money involved. Really, it's just a feeling of disapproval. Like, it doesn't seem right. It's inauthentic. It's not real. And not in the sense that I'm against, people doing that. In the sense of, people are adults and they have the right to pursue it as they will. But the thing is fundamentally, who are these people, and what is marriage? What is meaning? And meaning, I feel, is when you in marriage is physical intimacy, and when you put two people together, what is it a match? Are they compatible? That's what the question is, and if they are, if they like each other, then they can express that care with physical intimacy, and that's marriage. Marriage is not some random ceremony, I believe. uh, and so the point being that I'm about to wrap it up here, but basically that there's ways to have pornography where it can be exciting and fun, and obviously there are variants, and you may have your own ideas. You could even type them in and write to people. Maybe it's especially couples. Couples out there, and but also really consider making your own with your own spouse if you think it's a good idea, and realizing that you might think that because a man or woman has a body that you think is attractive, uh, that that's the best thing, or that's the most powerful thing, that attraction. But the truth is, love is a stronger force. Okay, love and self-respect, self-love actually prevents you from and deters you from engaging in intimacy. Love keeps people together even when they're older and not attracted. They would unequivocally want to be with each other and no one else. That's the feeling of just holding somebody and feeling good about them, and not having a fear or concern that if their health or wealth has it will diminish, that this person might leave me. No, that's not a part of the equation of the dream mate connection, which is magic. And you might think that, well, this video's subject matter was intended to be pornography, and how it is, and what I think is the best approach on it. But there are other subjects involved, relevant matters, like for example, the idea of fantasy and also pornography viewing. I think in one aspect, viewing pornography is can be fun, but then you have, and by the way, I think men should use coconut oil, and women should, when they for their body, and also when they masturbate, and also touch themselves erotically. You can imagine someone else is touching you. You can play out a fantasy of people you see throughout the day. And yeah, I think women would be surprised to realize that men fantasize about all types of different women, and it's they don't really are able to focus on one person. It's just different, and maybe women have the same experience, but the thing is then people might say, well, how is monogamy possible? Well, it's possible by not basing it upon sexual attraction alone. You want to find this person and their sex organs attractive, so you can give oral sex, which I think is the most important, of course, along with just holding and all the nice things about a relationship. But what is that marriage? You're marrying someone's dreams. So make sure that the reason why you're doing it, and then you can actually feel like your life is right. Feel like you're in truth. Thanks for considering. Aloha.